Parliament passes SPG amendment bill with Rajya Sabha clearing it today. Home Minister informs the upper house that security cannot be made a status symbol. Also passes Dadra and Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu merger of Union Territories Bill 2019. Campaigning in full swing for the second phase of Jharkhand Assembly elections. Prime Minister Narendra Modi addresses rallies in Khunti and Jamshedpur. Says an atmosphere of development has been created by the BJP by eradicating Naxalism in Jharkhand. International Day of People with Disabilities being observed today. Vice President Venkaiah Naidu presents national awards to people working towards empowerment of persons with disabilities. Prime Minister in a tweet says, "We reaffirm our commitment to keep working towards an inclusive, accessible and equitable future for our Divyang sisters and brothers." On the eve of Navy Day, Naval Chief says, is able to meet any challenge. Navy is rapidly working on long-term induction of 3 aircraft carrier warship fleet. And the NASA satellite finds Chandrayaan-2's Vikram lander. NASA releases picture of debris of the spacecraft on the moon. Good evening and welcome to this bulletin. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh. Rajya Sabha today passed the SPG Amendment Bill 2019. The bill has already been approved by the Lok Sabha. Union Minister Amit Shah replied to the debate and allayed all concerns about decision being against any particular family or being part of any vendetta politics.
इस देश में सिर्फ गांधी परिवार की सुरक्षा नहीं हटाई। इस देश में श्री चंद्रशेखर की समीक्षा के आधार पर सुरक्षा हटा ली गई। श्री वीपी सिंह उनकी भी सुरक्षा हटा ली गई। वो भी मंडल कमीशन लेकर आए थे। ढेर सारे लोग उनसे नाराज चल रहे थे। श्री नरसिम्हा राव उनकी भी सुरक्षा हटा ली गई। वो तो कांग्रेस पार्टी के ही थे। आई.के. गुजराल साहब उनकी भी सुरक्षा हटा ली गई। अभी अभी मनमोहन सिंह की भी सुरक्षा को हटाकर Z+ प्रोटेक्टी किया। कांग्रेस ने कोई हाय तौबा नहीं मचाई। अगर डेमोक्रेसी के लिए जी रहे, डेमोक्रेसी के शासन में जी रहे, लोकतांत्रिक व्यवस्था में जी रहे हैं, तो कानून सबके लिए बराबर होता है मान्यवर, एक परिवार के लिए विशेष नहीं हो।
Moving on, Prime Minister Narendra Modi today addressed a BJP rally in Jharkhand. He said an atmosphere of development has been created by the BJP by eradicating Naxalism in Jharkhand. Addressing a public meeting in Khunti, he said it is essential to bring the BJP back to power in the state for further development. PM said the voter turnout in the first phase of assembly polls in Jharkhand was remarkable and people have exhibited that they are aware about their duties towards India. This shows their enormous faith in democracy.
जिस प्रकार भाजपा सरकार ने नक्सलवाद की कमर तोड़ी है, उसे बहुत ही छोटे इलाके तक समेट दिया है, उससे डर का माहौल कम हुआ है, विकास का माहौल बना है।
Later in the day, Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed the second political rally at Jamshedpur in Jharkhand. In his address, PM Modi attacked the Congress and JMM and called their alliance an opportunistic alliance. He also said the BJP put a halt to the era of political instability.
कांग्रेस जेएमएम के अवसरवादी गठबंधन को यहां की स्थिरता रास नहीं आती, इसलिए वो एक अस्थिर व्यवस्था यहां चाहते हैं। एक ऐसी व्यवस्था जिसमें इनका कारोबार फलता फूलता रहे।
Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu today conferred the National Awards on individuals, institutions, organizations, states and districts for their outstanding achievements and work done towards empowerment of Divyangs. The National Awards for Empowerment of Persons with Disabilities were given on the occasion of International Day of Persons with Disabilities at Vigyan Bhavan in New Delhi. Speaking on the occasion, Vice President said the nation needs to study and analyze various dimensions of disability comprehensively. He added that we need to identify causes of disability and find ways to deal with them so that each individual is empowered to live a life of dignity.
There is urgent need to provide right to nutrition and care to pregnant mothers and young children, also create good and accessible medical facilities across rural India. Early identification of disability is also important. This will enable us to undertake effective interventions from the beginning for rehabilitation measures and empowerment of the affected persons. There is a need to harmonize immunization.
And Vice President further said that education is key to empowerment of every person, including persons with disabilities. He said there should be a special focus on inclusive schools and special schools so that each differently abled child gets good quality education. He said eradication of polio is an excellent example of coordinated efforts. He also presented Role Model 2019 awards to the winners.
Evidently, differently abled persons face severe problems in terms of their social and economic conditions. As we have committed to build an inclusive society, a society that is respected and sensitive to the needs of its most vulnerable sections, we have a onerous responsibility. The government, center, states, the local bodies, and also the private sector and the NGOs, everybody must perform their responsibility towards this less fortunate brethren. There is urgent need to provide right to nutrition and care to pregnant mothers and young children, also create good and accessible medical facilities across rural India. Early identification of disability is also important. This will enable us to undertake effective interventions from the beginning for rehabilitation measures and empowerment of the affected persons.
On International Day of People with Disabilities, Prime Minister Modi has said that his government is committed to keep working towards an inclusive future for differently abled people. He said their fortitude and accomplishment in various fields inspire all. Prime Minister sent a tweet message. He said, "We reaffirm our commitment to keep working towards an inclusive, accessible and equitable future for our Divyang sisters and brothers. Their fortitude and accomplishments in various fields inspire all of us." And Vice President Venkaiah Naidu launched the Poshan Anthem in New Delhi today in an action-packed function which also hosted Union Textile Minister Smriti Irani, Bollywood singer Shankar Mahadevan and lyricist Prasun Joshi. While addressing the audience, Vice President said that one should keep in mind the 5 key mottos of life.
लोगों को 5 विषय हमेशा ध्यान देना चाहिए। पहला, माँ को हमेशा याद रखना चाहिए। Second is the Janma Bhumi, the native place where you are born, should never forget it. Third is Matru Bhasha, the language that has come from mother's womb. Telugu, Tamil, Kannada, Malayali, Marathi, Assami, Punjabi, Bhojpuri, Kashmiri, Dogri, Urdu, whatever it is. Of course, music has no language barriers. And then the other one is motherland. देश को हमेशा याद रखना चाहिए. We must do everything possible for the unity, integrity, safety, security and sovereignty of our country. The last one is Guru. Do not forget Guru. ज्ञान देने वाले आपको गुरु को हमेशा याद रखना चाहिए.
Navy Chief Admiral Karambir Singh has assured the nation that Navy is fully prepared to deal with any national security challenges. Speaking at the annual Navy Day press conference in Delhi, Admiral Singh answered queries on challenges in the neighborhood and said no action of any other player in the region should impact us.
Keeping with this year's Navy Week theme, which is silent, strong and swift, I'd like to assure the nation that as the primary instrument of India's maritime power, The Indian Navy will continue to play a decisive role in providing effective response across the full spectrum of challenges in our maritime domain and ensuring national prosperity.
The Navy is procuring 41 ships, and its long-term plan is to have 3 aircraft carriers to turn into a true blue water force. 50 warships and submarines of the Indian Navy are under construction, of which 48 are on order at Indian shipyards.
The Navy's long-term capability plan envisages induction of 3 aircraft carriers so that 2 CBGs or carrier battle groups are available for dispersed deployment in the IOR at all times. The broad contours of the IAC-2, for your information, to be constructed in India, it will be a 65,000 Catobar carrier with electric propulsion. So these broad contours have been formulated and the case will be processed for accord of A1. Our commitment to this pursuit is seen by the fact that out of the 50 ships and submarines currently under construction, 48 are being built in Indian shipyards. And these include the aircraft carrier Vikrant, the P-15 Bravo class destroyers, P-17 Alpha class stealth frigates, offshore patrol vessels, and the Scorpion class submarines. The last of the P-28 ASW corvette is scheduled for delivery by early next year.
After presenting the qualification wings to the first woman pilot, Sub-Lieutenant Shivangi of the Indian Navy, Vice Admiral Leke Chawla said it's a frontline combat role. He added these current officers will be in Maritime Reconnaissance Squadron and it is a frontline combat role. Vice Admiral also said that later on, at some stage, they would also be converted into P-8 aircraft. So in a way, they would definitely be part of combat role in future.
Yes, in a sense, this will be a combat role, though of course these current officers would be in the Maritime Reconnaissance Squadron, and it is indeed, as I mentioned in my speech also, that it is a frontline combat role because they would also then convert on to the P-8I aircraft, and therefore they would be possibly engaged in combat at some stage should that happen to us. So yes, in a way they would definitely be part of the combat role.
In an important development, Chandrayaan-2's Vikram lander that crashed on the surface of the moon in September this year has been found by NASA. The US Space Agency has confirmed that on Tuesday. At the same time, NASA lauded a Chennai-based techie who helped it trace the debris of India's lunar mission by spending hours comparing before and after images of the landing site. The US Space Agency released a mosaic image of the site on September 26th, which was taken on September 17th, inviting people to compare it with images of the same area before the crash to find signs of the lander. The first person to come up with a positive identification was Chennai-based IT professional Shanmuga Subramanian, who confirmed the identification of the crashing site of Vikram by comparing before and after images. After receiving this tip, the LROC, that's Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter Camera, team confirmed the identification by comparing the before and after images. The debris first located by Shanmuga is about 750 meters northwest of the main crash site, the NASA has confirmed. On September 7th, the Indian Space Research Organisation, ISRO, attempted a soft landing of Vikram on the moon. However, ISRO lost contact with Vikram shortly before the scheduled touchdown. Some weather update. In Tamil Nadu, normal to heavy rains continue to batter various parts of the state. The upper air circulation, along with depression in the Arabian Sea, threw normal life out of gear in more than 10 districts. Chief Minister Edapalli Palanisamy is scheduled to visit rain-hit western districts today. As many as 27 people have lost their lives in various rain-related incidents in the state since November 29th. Holiday has been announced for all schools today in Perambalur, Ramanathapuram, Shivagangai, Pudukkottai, Ariyalur, Thiruvarur and Tuticorin districts. Vehicular traffic was paralysed on the Kannur Mettupalayam district in Nilgiri district following landslides at 12 locations due to rains. One of the worst hit areas was Marapallam, where many trees were uprooted. Meanwhile, the weather office in Chennai has forecast light to moderate rain at few places over south and west Tamil Nadu, at isolated places over northern parts and Puducherry for the day. The Met Office said Mettupalayam received the highest rainfall of 18 centimeters in the last 24 hours. This was followed by Kunnur in Nilgiris and Palaviduthi in Karur with 13 centimeters of rain each. Some news from the US. A blizzard-like blast from the storm that has been raging across the United States since before Thanksgiving has slammed the northeast on Monday. Snarling travel ahead the evening rush hour. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo has declared a state of emergency and deployed 300 members of the National Guard. Airline problems had more than doubled by midday. More than 4,000 US flights have been cancelled. The storm that rolled across the entire country, drenching some areas with rain, blanketing others with snow and blasting still others with winds. 3 tornadoes were reported northwest of Phoenix. That brings us to the close of this bulletin. Namaskar.